like jam, water, water,
Hit the brake.
Beep, beep.
drip like jam, water, water.
Hit the brake.
Beep, beep. Get out of my way!
Yo, what want me you?
You're watching The Traffic Jam.
Well, thank you for everybody for coming out today. This is Traffic Jam. I am not your usual host. I'm just filling in. So I'm doing what I could do, doing my best. My name is Mark the Movie, and I want to introduce our guest that we have with us today. First, I have a legendary comedian. I always hear people talk about goats and who's the goat, who's not the goat. But this person, I feel, is one of the most respected comedians in the game. I hear his name a lot from other comedians, so I feel confident in saying that. My guy, Big Pimpin' Talent. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And next we have another favorite of mine, my guy Dennis. He's done a lot of work in Hollywood, been in a lot of movies. He has a workshop that he does all over, Act Like You Know. He's doing one out here soon. So please welcome Dennis L.A. White.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? Thanks for having me. I can't wait I know we got a lot of shit to talk about today. I'm ready.
And we also have my guy from Chi-Town. He always comes when I call. I appreciate that. He's on tour now with Corey Holcomb. Catch him in town near you. My guy, Marvin Phipps.
What up, people? What's going down, man? Traffic jams. It's been a minute.
First, Katt Williams set the internet on fire this week. I mean, look, it looks like you went to Club Shay Shay and ate it out on everybody. Like,
What's in that bottle?
do you think he was holding on to this for a while?
Of course. Of course. I'm always amazed and astonished by stuff that we know, by being in the entertainment business, being around it, and knowing some insight. But the actual person, you wonder, are they reading the press clippings too? Do they have feelings too? And this reminds me of MC Hammer. I seen a clip of an interview recently, and somebody asked him why he wasn't at the Grammys 50-year hip hop celebration, and he kept it real. And he was like, "I'm not gonna go." And his answer was different than KRS-One, who was mad at the establishment, for taking so long to acknowledge hip hop. His thing was more so like, a lot of y'all those rappers made fun of me. You know what I mean? And called me a sellout and this and that. I'm not gonna go front and act like I like dog because it's a celebration. He was like, I'm not that dude. I'm too real for that. I'm 60 years old. I'm a grown man. I'm not gonna do it. That reminds me. So right there, light bulb went off like, damn, I know what hip hop was saying and all the rumors and stuff like that, but he's been reading his own press clippings too. So he knows, and all this time, it meant something to him. He held on to that. So I think this is a reflection of a Katt Williams. Like, just because I haven't mentioned it, don't think I don't know and going to speak on it once I get to that point. I always say once you get to the highest level of pissivity, you done been pissed off to the highest level of pissivity, and now you speaking your truth as you see it or know it, and it set the world on fire, set the internet on fire.
Hell yeah.
Marvin, what do you think?
I think so. Cause I mean, soon as they said go, he just came out like shooting, man. Like he was like, Katt, how you doing? Steve Harvey got a wig on. Like, nigga, he didn't warm up. He went at it, man. So yeah, I think he was holding on to that for a while, man.
Dennis, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is stuff that he's been putting out through the media for years. And so I think it was a culmination of everything, and then just seeing the platform. And, it's always disheartening to see somebody lie on you on TV. Like this nigga just lied, bold-faced lie on me. I gotta set the record straight. So yeah, he was on go mode immediately.
Because you heard my intro with you about where I feel you are in the game.
Right.
Do you think, because I've heard this, do you think Katt Williams is one of the best comedians that are alive?
I like Katt Williams. In my opinion of best, probably not. As a person, I would put him as probably one of the best, persons that I've known. I do know he's a great dude. Like he's a really, really good dude, and he's funny. He has his base. But me and my flavor of comedy and stuff that like raises an eyebrow for me and stuff like that. He's in my I don't know, maybe top 20 list or something like that. But when we're talking about greatest of all time and going up, and that takes a little deeper, intricate thoughts. You know what I mean? But I understand how he ranks himself, and I respect how he ranks himself. I don't rank like that. You've seen the interview cats like, oh, I got this many specials. This guy don't have no specials or whatever. That would be like, taking something from myself. I don't do specials for a reason. Like, I feel that it stunts the growth of me as a comic and longevity. Like, I've been here a long time. And to sustain and still be relevant and active in this game this long, 30 plus years, you have to pay attention to this and put together a certain thing. Now, you could have 50 specials. In my rating, that's not going to move the needle for me. That's not going to make me go, oh, he's the best. He had 50 specials. Because as good as Bill Russell was in the NBA and as many rings as he got the most rings. But we don't sit around having a Bill Russell conversation. We don't sit around and say Bill's the best. The argument is LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Bird, Kareem, Olajuwon. Those are the guys and Shaq that fall into the argument of the greatest. Because if we were to just judge on accolades, a lot of people would skip the line. Even like a Chappelle. Chappelle's dope. Chappelle's a genius. I give him all that. But he's the GOAT to me, still not my GOAT. Because as good as Chappelle is, you still lack gears. There's still gears that are not being shifted there. And don't get me wrong, it's not a slight or nothing like that. But a lot of comics look at it like a stick shift car. The stick shift car, you got 5 gears in that baby. By the time you hit 5th gear, you're gone. Cops got to catch you. But a lot of comics, 1st, 2nd, maybe 3rd gear. And don't get me wrong, 3 gears, you're good. But when we start talking greatest of all time, me personally, I'm gonna need a little more.
Dennis?
No, it's not. I don't. I mean, I like Katt. I know him personally. For me, it's Richard, Red Fox, Eddie Murphy. Now it's like Dave. But I don't think Katt is in that level. He's great. He's like maybe on the next tier, but I don't think I can't put him in that level.
Phipps?
I think it goes for generations, and I think it goes for age group. Like he's not my GOAT. But I think just like I grew up watching who I grew up watching, I'm sure it's people that grew up watching Katt, he's their GOAT, just like LeBron is someone's GOAT and Steph Curry. So I he's not my GOAT. I'm 43, but I'm not mad at someone that's saying that Katt Williams is a GOAT to them. But
it's all subjective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
We know who the most disrespectful comedian out there is. Corey.
Is he?
Corey is that's another whole show. I love Corey. That's my dude. He's most disrespectful, most blatant. He spit on your mother's grave type of comedian. Love it. All right, okay. All right, back to the regular scheduled program.
Now when I hear comedians beef, I've heard people go at Kevin Hart a lot. Katt Williams, Steve Harvey. How competitive are stand-up comedians?
Super competitive. Yeah, super duper competitive. Like the tour that I'm on right now, the New York Kings of Comedy, just them four guys right there, we stay battling it out, because one night you may be hosting the tour, one night you might be in the one spot, one night you might be in the closing spot. Either way, you have to follow whatever the heat in front of you is. And it's pressure because any given night, somebody else may catch more fire than the other one. It doesn't necessarily mean this comic's better than this comic or this comic's better than this comic. It could be the night. That's comedy. Comedy's night by night, set by set. You can go to the same venue 7 nights in a row at 8 o'clock and hit the stage at the exact same time, at the exact same venue, each night of the week. And I guarantee you, each set will have something different about it. And you'll have a different feeling about each one. You'll be like, oh, I killed it tonight. You'll be like, I missed this point right here tonight. My timing was off tonight. Like each one is like a snowflake, no bullshit. Like each set is like a snowflake. There's no two snowflakes the same. So every set has its own DNA. And you just try to be the perfect parent as far as that goes. 23andMe, if you will.
Well, I mean, is it so? You remember the KRS-One beef with Shan, right?
Yes.
That was a musical thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we fast forward to 50 and Ja, and that was like personal. So with stand-up comedians, is it like personal or is it just like competitive, not really beef, but you guys are just competitive?
Well, I think it's both though, because we lived through. To go back to the hip hop part, we lived through that, and if you lived through it, you understood there was two components to it. Yeah, it made its way and boom bap on the air and in the records and everything, and it was good for the culture that way. But there was actual underlying real personal beefs that if these guys ran into each other at the same clubs and stuff, it was tight and tense. Um, Comedy ain't no different. Comedy ain't no different. I've had my share of run-ins over the years. I've seen my share of fights inside the comedy club, outside the comedy club, in theaters, everywhere. Like so, a lot of it. And you got to understand something about comedy is like the difference I would say in us and the hip hop is you always have to sit down and write whatever that thing is against the guy in hip hop. That's what it's about, writing the lyrics and the raps. The difference in comedy is everybody's not a writer. So some of us are naturally coming off the hip. So if I go up on stage and that guy comes in that I don't particularly like or got a beef with or stole my joke, whatever the animosity is, I'm kind of coming off the cuff of my natural ability. I didn't sit down and write because I didn't expect to see this Negro in the club tonight. I was about to talk about weed, water. And this motherfucker walked in and my whole trajectory changed because now my emotions got involved, overrode that. And I might go left because of my natural ability. Just start talking and ranting on this motherfucker and making it funny. So people think, oh, it's funny, it's cute, whatever. But it's coming from a place that if that man, when I get off stage, was to come and question me about it, hands go flying. You know what I mean? Because now some man shit like fucking questioning me for it. Like, nah, man, you ain't have to do that. But I did. Just tumble, nigga. I did. So I say that to say there's even though I may do it on the surface part for the business, there is that underlining personal thing that may or may not be there. Like I said, we live these beats in hip hop, and they have both components. A lot of good music came from the Bronx versus Queens, the bridge versus the bridge is over, and a lot of good music came from when 50 came on the scene and attacked Ja. I mean, it was a misfortune that Ja's thing totally stagnated while 50 shit bubbled, but then Ja eventually persevered and came back, and he's still here and relevant today. But then you fast forward, don't forget you got East West Biggie Tupac, which we know how that ended. Again, we lived it and we're still living it. We're listen to the music of two legends that technically should still be here, probably producing, making money, or at an executive level, either or should still be in the game of some form of fashion. But they're not because why? A lot of music came out of it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of Bad Boy, Death Row, good music back and forth. But also they died. they were murdered, gunned down.
Yeah, I agree. It's in our nature, man. You know, starting out in the clubs when you're going up, you're fighting for like that one spot to go up, or you know, and it start early on. You know, it starts from trying to get up everywhere you go, and you know, it's just competitive, man. Like going into a different city and trying to get on that stage. So it just follows you and builds and builds and builds, and it never goes away. No matter how much you do in the business, no matter, you know, because we would think, man, Katt, you cool, you touring, you making money and this and that. You know, you never know what he's looking at or if he feel he should be fought. So it's, you know, and it's different for each person, you know. For me, I'm looking at Katt like, nigga, you're the guy, or you're on, but he's probably, nah, like I should be doing this, I should be doing that. So you never fucking know, man. And it's levels, man. So it's very competitive, especially looking where Kevin or Chappelle is at, is ways to go for a lot of cats, bro. You know.
But being on is subjective too, man. Like it's for real. It's very subjective because shit, like you said with Dave and Katt, I mean Dave and Kevin in comparison to Katt, you know, there I know Dave does a lot of his own stuff as far as production company. So does Kevin, and so does Katt. And so what makes you relevant and what makes you popping? It's all subjective, you know. And a lot of it is how much are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice to get that extra boost in this industry? And you know, there's a lot of things that Katt Williams said that he won't sacrifice, and I agree. You know what I'm saying? That never reaching that hole, I'm not willing to sacrifice that for anything.
Right.
You know, so it might the path might be longer, it may take you longer. I think it's extremely competitive because there's only a certain amount of comedians that, or Black comedians that get the platform. And so it's like clawing to the top. And, you know, we don't have a lot of platforms and also people that pull each other up. So it's very competitive to be that person on top because the shelf life of successful comedians are not that long, not that wide and long. So everyone is kind of competing against each other. I think that's period as far as Black entertainment. You know, there's a lot of clawing because, you know, there's usually only one comedian in a movie that's Black. It could be like 4 or 5 white comedians, but it'd be that one Black comedian. So we're always fighting for that one spot. So I think it's extremely competitive.
Now, being a comedian on the inside in the industry, where do you think, or do you know where the beef with Faizon comes from? Because Faizon is shooting back too.
You know, a lot of people got beef with Faizon or animosity, if you will. And that's because you're always going to get that people who don't bite their tongue. Like Faizon is just like Katt in that regard. These two dudes will get on a podcast or interview and say some raw, rough, rugged, and raw shit. And I don't get mad at this. Actually, this is like this is my first time even talking about this because I don't really get into this type of thing because these dudes are telling their truth. And I think that's where the reason that the internet caught fire is because he just happened to name a dozen names that people hold in a certain regard. Let's face it. If Katt said the same thing and named 12 motherfuckers that people didn't feel some sort of way about, would we be talking like this? Nah. We're talking like this because you heard names like Tyler Perry and Ricky Smiley and Earthquake and Steve Harvey, Cedric, and you know, the names go on and on. So, but because of some of these names making us do this shit, you know, even the Ludacris and blah blah blah, you're like, yo, where'd that come from? Where does this come from? What's going on? Blah blah blah. Like, so we're talking about it because of the parties involved, per se. But Faizon is that dude too. Faizon is the same dude. He's not gonna hold his tongue, not gonna bite his tongue. He's gonna say, if he think you're a bitch, he's gonna say, yo, so-and-so's a bitch. And he'll say it on national TV, public radio, don't matter. They're cut from the same cloth in that regard. And believe it or not, I respect that. I respect that better than you smiling and around me and you wishing me bad. I'd rather you say, man, I hope you don't get shit. I'd be like, thank you, man. Appreciate the honesty, nigga. Fuck you too, and keep it moving. Appreciate that. That's what us New Yorkers hang our hat on. We hang our hat on in New York. Niggas are more prone to keep it real than to front on you. Niggas will got no problem saying you're a bitch ass nigga. You know, so they're the same in that regard. You got a lot of people in my run-ins like, man, fuck Faizon, man. Okay, whatever. I mean, you feel the way you feel. It's all good.
I don't know where it comes from, but I mean, to keep it a buck, Faizon has been seeming real bitter the last 4 or 5 years. And I don't know where it stems from, but he's really like a bitter dude about everything. And it's like, come on, man, get over it. You know what I'm saying? This industry is not easy. We all know this shit is hard as fuck, but step up or do something, reinvent yourself. But you can't be bitter about every single body and not do anything. He's been bitter on about a lot. He's been throwing shades on the way he was shade Dave East and a lot of people. Like, come on, man, shit is whack.
Yeah, Faizon is like the least person that should be like, especially when it comes to stand up, bro. Like, you know, and I like everybody that Katt mentioned. I admire and I just a fan of all those guys. But when it come to Faizon, I don't know where they beef stem from either. But like Dennis said, he just been like shooting at everybody too. He said Jay-Z was a scrub, or like Jay-Z really wasn't that guy. Like he just saying stuff like, bro, you weren't even around. Like, how do you know all this stuff? And so I just feel he's the least person to even be, you know, mentioning Katt and he's just been going crazy on his IG, just posting like clips and videos and not really commentary, just posting videos and shit. And I'm like, bro, this man came at y'all, the way he did. Come back with some jokes, bro, or let that shit ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cause yo, he ain't even on their level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like, come on, maybe it's a platform now for Faizon to get more likes or whatever. Maybe that's what he's thinking.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. I just think he needs to step his game up or step out.
Yeah.
Do you think Katt Williams told any lies?
I wouldn't, a lie is interesting. I think he spoke his truth from his point of view. Do I think that there's embellishment in it? Absolutely. I think all the shit that he said that he went through in the industry, that's his truth. That part is his truth. I think there was a lot of, it was a long interview. So I think as it went on and, a couple of fluff situations, maybe embellished here or there. I'm not gonna say straight out flat-footed lies and shit like that. I will speak to this though. I will say, wow, let me give it a 75 percentile of fact finding on there, right? And that's just me in my opinion. I will say this and speak on Katt's behalf of all that philanthropy shit and all the how generous he is. I'll speak to that. That's some fucking real factual shit. Some real true shit when he said, "Oh, I'll go and make 100 grand and then go to the homeless area and throw 10 grand out there to the." That's a fucking fact. That's a fact. Have there been times Katt Williams rode down any city's main street in a limo or a stretch motherfucking navigate or whatever and toss 5, 10, 20,000 out the window? Absolutely. Happened more times than not. Does Katt Williams keep a lot of those cats on the road working? Absolutely. And overpay them And when I say overpaying them, no disrespect to the comics, like they not worth whatever he's giving them. I mean, like, pay them more than what they're used to getting at that stage, or what that promoter would give them if he brought them there on their own. And he's known for that, not one or two at a time, 5 or 10 at a time. That's how generous the man is. We had a female comedian knock on there. God bless the dead, Raj G. Funny female comedian out of Jersey that passed away not too long ago. And I remember Raj, her girlfriend called me, and her girlfriend was like, T, I need you to help me. Raj is in the hospital. Her health is real bad. She has insurance. She's good. We need to raise money to take care of her little bills because we don't know how long she's going to be in. I said, okay. I learned how to, and I swear to God, never knew how to use GoFundMe. I went and did my shit, set up a GoFundMe for her. I think I put a goal up, I don't know, 7,500 or something like that. And we were at, I don't know, 2,000, maybe a little over 2,000 one day. And I remember my girlfriend at the time, we went to the movies, and I'm checking it on my phone, and it's like 2,200 or whatever. And I cut the phone off to go and watch the movie. Come out the movie, cut the phone on, notifications are pinging through. Somebody anonymously put $5,000 on. I'm like, that's strange. Who the fuck did that? Like, so I'm staring at it, no information, just anonymous. And we get to the car, we walk to the car. My phone rang. It's Red Grant. Shout out to Red Grant. And Red Grant was like, yo, T, Katt wants your number. You want to talk to you? And I was like, give him the number. And Katt calls me right away. And I'm like, yo, what's up? Ain't nothing, King, blah, 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 talking. He was like, yo, I just want you to know, wanted you to know that was me that gave the 5,000 for Raj. I didn't know she was fucked up. That's my girl. I love Raj. If I knew, because he had just left Jersey, he did a big show at the NJ Pack. He said, dude, if I knew, I would have took the fucking car out to go see her and give her whatever she needed or whatever. I didn't know till I got home off the plane and found this out. So the least I could do is I sent this. I didn't want it to be a big deal. I didn't want people, oh, Katt gave. He said, that's why I did the anonymous thing. But I wanted you to know that it came from me. And I just sat back, and I remember that hit me, some sort of way. He's a stand-up dude. I remember when I hired Katt back when he was cost less. I think I paid him 50, 60 grand to do Rochester with me. And the only stipulation, he said, T, I'm gonna do it. He said, but I'm on tour. So what I need you to do is the cats that's opening with me on tour, I need them to hit the stage too. And I'm like, no problem. It was Lou Nell, Ray Grant, somebody else. And the order that I had put together was different than the order that they normally do on the tour. So Lou Nell felt some sort of way. I ain't doing that shit. It's not how we do it, blah, 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 blah. And I just I'm not about to fight you and argue. I left the room. When I came back, she pulled me aside, apologized, and said, hey, man, just show whatever you want to run it. Come to find out, Katt had got wind of it and had a sidebar with her, like, yo, don't do that. You know who that is? Like, blah, blah, blah. And that was our first time meeting each other in Lou Nell's defense. So she was like, no, I didn't know. Katt explained to me, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I was out of line, whatever, whatever. We've been sweet ever since. But this is just give you a couple of things of the type of guy that he actually is as a guy. Now, his truth, you can get mad at his truth all you want. You might be a big Steve Harvey fan. Like, don't say that about Steve. You might be a Cedric fan. Me, I'm cool with all the parties involved. I don't think he named one dude that I might have a slight problem with Ricky. And this is why I know there's some validity to the Ricky shit, because Ricky is one of them dudes that, it's funny now, but Ricky's one of them dudes that kind of lie when he don't have to. You ever know those people that lie when they ain't even a need to lie? Is it raining outside? Nah. Then you go out there and get fucking wet. Yo, what the fuck was that about? That was a non-needed lie. All I was gonna do is grab a goddamn umbrella or get a hoodie. What was that? He one of them motherfuckers. And I've never had a problem with Ricky until I seen an interview with him and Monique. And we all was on this show called Snaps. And these motherfuckers ain't snappers. I love Monique like a sister, she know. Love Ricky like a brother, he know. But they was on my team, me and them two. And y'all know y'all ain't snappers. This is what I come from. I come from that snap shit. I'm not even allowed to snap in the streets no more. It's like a boxer. You can't hit a nigga, lethal hands. That's how fucking nice I am when it comes to snap. Niggas do not fuck with me no more. Years and years of just ruining niggas and self-esteem and throwing I don't even do it no more. Now I hold it for self-defense purposes. So I say all that to say I had to write the snaps for my team, me and my boy Will. We were writing all the snaps. We wrote the snaps for the books. We wrote the snaps for the album. We wrote the snaps for the special. So we were writing the snaps for them. So I'm looking at an interview and with him and Monique, and it was like, oh, that snap with the powder, so crazy, it went viral, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, remember I gave you that. And I'm looking at this interview like, and this nigga told a whole story. Man, I went to the store and I got the powder. I'm looking at him like, I said, wow. Are we this hard up on accolades that we are taking other people's shit, little shit, insignificant, like I said, no reason to lie, little shit and owning it ourselves? That's what Katt got pissed off about. He said, the man stole my bet. I gave him a pass. Fuck it. You know, we all the same gang, blah, blah. But then with the pass, you go do some other shit. It's like, nigga, you saying fuck me now. So that's to give you a little insight of who these people are. All the people he mentioned, I don't think he mentioned anybody I got a particular beef with in there. Like, I'm not a guy known for that. But I'm telling you right now, these guys are cut from the same cloth with as far as it come from speaking their truth and giving it to you rough, rugged, and raw. Katt and Faizon can do that with the best. Steve gonna sugarcoat some shit. He had some validity there when he said, nigga, that your show is a replica of Hanging with Mr. Cool. That was valid, because it was. Same formula. And I remember somebody else told the story of when they called behind Bernie back to try to get Ocean's 11 and all. Like, all these things, you're just speaking into your truth and existence. And it's a person's point of view. Now, the same story coming from the other parties involved, definitely may be some different shit. You know, they may see it different and tell their story different, because that's how it always is. When the police get called to a house for domestic violence, it's going to be two different stories. She smacked me. He smacked me. All right, who smacked who? So there you have it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was some embellishment. You know, it's, for me, it's tough because, like, I'm cool with a lot of people that he talked about.
Right.
And with the Cedric the Entertainer situation, I had to step back and look at it. And, you know, I say, well, is Cedric the Entertainer a comedian or storyteller? Does he tell stories, repurpose stories that's been in the generation in the community for years and years? Maybe that's what it is, and he reinvents them. Maybe that's what it is. With the Ludacris situation, that shit is tough, B. Like, that shit is real tough. Like, I don't know I don't know how to look at that. You know what I'm saying? I know Luda very well. I don't know. The Michael Blackson shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I believe it. You know what I'm saying? And Mike is my dude. I love Mike. I love Michael Blackson. That's my dude. But I believe that he probably said that to him. And sometimes when people, you know, give advice to you, some people, you might take it offensive, but it might be to help your career. So I don't know what their situation. I love the way how Michael responded with jokes. He came back with jokes, and you know. So I mean, he took it lightly, and he's still pushing through. The stuff with Kevin Hart, about being an industry plant, I don't know. Like, I worked with Kevin back in the days on a movie called Death of a Dynasty. And I didn't know who the hell Kevin was. You know, he was new, and he just got put on by Dame Dash. But, you know, he worked his ass off too. So for me, it's funny, me and Eamon was talking about that as well, Eamon Joseph, about seeing Kevin Hart back then. And this was like in the 2000s, early 2000s. So, I mean, I think a lot of it is true. A lot of stuff that he said about himself was a little fictitious, the 3,000 books and shit like that. You know what I mean? He got a little cap in his situation. I think, you know, the liquor started, you know, hitting him a little more. My only thing about the Katt Williams situation is, you came on there to dispute what Ricky Smiley, Cedric, and Steve Harvey said, right? And I'm with you 1,000%. But start bringing the other people in. I didn't like that. It was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes a liquor can get you talking real crazy. So I think it towards the end, he start drinking more and start really embellishing more. But I think he should have stuck to those three and then cool. But I mean, it is what it is, man. It tore the damn internet down, bro. It's crazy.
For me, like you said, like every interview I see of Katt, it's always some cap. I mean, it was some truth. It was a lot of cap, you know what I'm saying? But that's Katt. It was very entertaining. You know, I've
Word.
watched it twice.
You
know
word.
Whether you agree or disagree, we've watched a 3-hour interview. And it just made me think, like, why this nigga don't got a podcast? Like, why Katt Williams in this day and age, he could do exactly what Joe Rogan, I'm sure after this interview, if he wanted to do a podcast, he's going to get a $30-40 million. Like, nigga, get your fucking podcast and shoot this shit. And I, like you said, I love how Michael Blackson responded. He kept it comedy. He didn't take it that's what I like to see. And you know, what Kevin them did on the sports thing, I felt like, Kev, y'all, like, that was kind of tacky to me. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, and I feel like if you ain't gonna be comical about it, don't say nothing. I doubt if Steve reply. I doubt, you know.
Nah.
Steve don't gotta reply. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you do, it should be jokes and fun, you know, man. But you know, what they was doing to him, like, because it was like, he said a lot of stuff, but nobody disputed the wife stuff. Nobody disputed, like, the stuff he, like, I want people to say, yo, that's lying like nigga. So it's like, he was kind of telling the truth about some of the things.
And even not to interrupt, but even with Luda, like, Luda didn't really dispute it.
Right.
Ricky Smiley tried to get his manager on, and his manager kind of agreed about what happened. And as an actor and in Hollywood and stuff, I know how it is when you audition for a project. That shit ain't yours until you sign the paperwork. That shit ain't yours, even if you sign the paperwork till you get on set. Like, that shit is not yours. I seen motherfuckers get fired at table reads.
Wow.
So just because you audition and they're like, oh yeah, we like you. He even said he had a producer session with the producers. He had an audition for the producer, so he still didn't get it. Right. They put a pin in you, said we were interested, and it was actually a blessing that when Katt Williams took the role, that they even offered him another role. That's love. Sometimes that shit don't even happen. Right. You just don't hear from the motherfuckers. Right. So, you know, I think that Ricky Smiley misspoke. I think he got kind of besides himself and said too much. And he should have been like, yo, I misspoke. That role wasn't mine. I auditioned for it. They liked me, right, but I didn't get it.
Right.
You know, that's what he should have said. But he was still trying to make himself a little. I'm like, come on, B. Like, dog, it wasn't your role. Yeah. And you couldn't have done it. Like, you couldn't at all. And then the whole Brandon T. Jackson shit. Like, I know Brandon. We got a movie out called Trap City that's coming out. And he spoke about wearing a dress. He was like, that's the worst thing that he ever did. He wished he'd never done that. So Brandon didn't dispute what Katt said. He kind of fell into it. So a lot of shit that Katt is saying is stuff that we in the industry knows. Like the whole, you know, the casting couch and the Illuminati stuff and having to, you know, suck some dude off for a role or being offered that. Like, we know of that, and we know it happens, and we know those that have done it,
right? And
we know those that haven't done it. And so, you know, the people not in our realm, not in our industry, they're not privy to that information. So it's flabbergasting to them. Like, oh shit, really? Like, yeah, really. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you want this role? Suck my dick? Like, huh? So it's because of your, and Katt said it, like, I know where it is. It's God's side and the other side. I know what I will do, what I won't do. And so it happens. And I appreciate him for exposing it. And I wonder if, you know, people say, well, he did it because he got a show the next night. He's been having shows.
Yeah.
He stayed on the road. The only thing that I had an issue with him when he was talking about, he said put 46 or 56 comedians on the road, and that's cool. He put Lunel on, right? Lunel was on the road with him, but he didn't help Lunel get her comedy special. That was Chappelle.
Wow.
Chappelle's the one that got her comedy special on Netflix. So it's like, still, you know, bring them up too. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think it's good for the conversation. I think it's good for 2024 started off crazy. Motherfucker, Uncle Murders dropped the 3 song, Wrap It Up, dissing everybody, and no one's even talking about that. It's all about Katt Williams, and it should be.
Well, guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your insight. It's always, you know, a pleasure to have you guys on. Where can we find you, Dennis?
You can find me at Dennis L.A. White on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I refuse to call it X. RIP DMX. Fuck that. And then actlikeyouknow.org. That's where all my coaching for acting classes, private coaching, celebrity coaching, workshops, actlikeyouknow.org. I have a new movie coming out called Pros of Cons, coming out. I think it's coming out next month. And I'm shooting a movie called New Cycle starting this week with Omar Gooding and some other people. So yeah, check me out. You know, I'm staying active. You already know.
Rips, where you at?
January 19th and the 20th. We're in Tacoma, Seattle. I think it's a Funny Bone. Me and Corey Holcomb. Yeah. And my social media is Marvin Phipps. That's everything. That's Twitter, that's Facebook, Instagram,
OnlyFans.
Everything.
Well, thank you for your time, brother. Thank you for coming on. You come whenever I call. I appreciate that. Where can we find you?
Man, you can find me. Follow me. I'm coming to a city near you. Look out for the New York Kings Comedy Tour. Look out for the Cousins and Comedy Tour, which is me and my cousin Ed Lover. These 2 tours are running consecutively. I think our next stop, me and Ed Lover, is in Staten Island at the theater over there. Come check us out, man, doing our thing. Social media, Talent the Comedian with a DA. Talent the Comedian on Instagram. I'm at It's Just Comedy on Twitter. And I'm at NY King Talent on Facebook. Holla at your boy. All day, you know how we do.
Traffic jam.
Drip like
Jam.
water.
Hit the brake.
Beep, beep.
Drip like
Jam.
water.
Hit the brake.
Beep, beep. Get out of my way!
Yo,